The monitor for the ultimate gamer, the Alienware 2521H. This is the esports focused monitor of choice for many professional esports teams and tournaments, including the Smite Pro League. Why? Because it's got a 25-inch FHD IPS panel, 360 hertz refresh rate so you never miss a frame, and true 1 millisecond gray-to-gray response time so you can't blame it on the lag. Hello everybody, and welcome to your Puppy Boy Cerberus support guide. Going to be starting off with pretty standard support items here. We're going to be working our way into our Gauntlet of Thebes. We're going to grab ourselves the Sentinel's Gift, and of course a bajillion health potions, as well as our Hand of the Gods. Looking at their team comp, they don't have a crazy amount of anti-healing, so meditation is an option. We have a little bit of sustain on their team, so they probably are going to buy some anti-heal, so I'm actually just going to go with a shell as my first active. And if you would like to click the subscribe as your first button, I would appreciate it. And then follow up with a little bit of a like and ring that bell for notifications to help support the Twitchiest community. This game, I am going to opt for the Sentinel's Gift over the Benevolence. In general, my rule as a support is I like to get the Sentinel's Gift if I'm planning on getting Blink as an active, because if you get Benevolence and turn that into Compassion, when your teammates get hit, it puts you in combat so you can't blink. Cerberus, a god, pretty reliant on Blink, which I'll be getting as my second active, so I want to make sure at the end of the game I can still initiate with that Blink. Don't have to worry about being put into combat over and over and over and over again by Compassion. That's my general thought process on those two starters. Honestly, they're both very good as well. So if you have like a personal preference for one over the other, you can basically get them really close in viability at like all levels of gameplay. For our first ability, we're going to be grabbing our 2. This is going to be our main kind of wave clear. Gonna throw out that nice ghastly breath. It is also the ability that is going to stack up our heads. For Cerb 1, you can auto attack in order to build up the heads if you want. If you do the 1-2 triple auto, you will build up your heads, or you can just simply use the Cerberus breath. Way easier method to actually build up that passive, and that passive is super important because without all 3 of those heads activated, your 1 will not stun. So you got to make sure you have all 3 of those built up before you can actually stun. And your heads actually attack individually on Cerb. It's kind of a weird thing for a support to have to deal with. But if you don't have your heads built up and you're trying to get it up via auto attacks, you actually can't go auto ability and then get in the 3rd auto. It's not just 3 auto attacks, it's 3 specifically auto attacks in a row, because each of your heads will bite during different autos. You can actually literally watch it during the animation. You'll go middle, left, and then right. And that is how it actually builds up and charges your passive. So if you try to like auto use an ability and then auto again, it's going to reset it back to your middle head attacking, so your right head will actually never get built up. Just like a weird, it's just a weird like kind of role play lore thing that they did that's actually like a small Cerberus nerf as well in a way. As far as our ability order though, on Cerb, gotta be leveling up our 2 and our ultimate to max. The ulti is not the biggest deal in the world. You don't have to max it out. If you want to, on Cerb, you can actually get 1 point in the ultimate. In fact, we'll do that this game to kind of show you. Putting the points in the ulti is nice for the bonus damage because Cerb, much like some of the other DPS focused guardians like Ares, does actually have good damage output in the early stages. And the ultimate gets a pretty dang big damage buff when you level it up. but it doesn't actually reduce the cooldown on the ability at all, which means you do get a lot of value out of that bonus stun duration for the one. So this game, we're actually just going to get 1 point in the ultimate. And then we're going to cap that out last, kind of show you how that goes. So we're going to do Ghastly Breath first. Easy damage ability, easy clear, plus it is a protection reduction, which is huge. Then we're going to level up the one. Bonus damage, not as much as like we would get from the ulti, but we also get the bonus stun duration. Cerb 1 can become a 1.8 second stun, which is hilarious. One of the harder abilities in the game to hit, although it used to be like 10 times harder to hit. So, you know, at least be thankful for that. Not as hard as it used to be to hit. It was like nearly impossible. Like pros would hit it like 25% of the time. That's how hard it was to hit. But nowadays, the one is a little bit more lenient on where you can get that stun. In general, the farther down the path that it goes, the better your chance is going to stun. You got to hit these 3 individual heads in order to get the stun, which means that if you do it right at the end of the ability, those 3 ability procs are going to come together and do the stun, not to mention it does a lot of damage. And sometimes if you do it in point blank range as well, sometimes point blank will also kind of give you it, depending on how thick the character is that you're going against. If they're a really skinny character, it won't work, but if they're like a Cthulhu, you can do it right point blank and you'll actually stop them. They got the thick character models. All right, gonna grab ourselves a Gauntlet of Thebes. Couple of wards. We're going to be heading out to the mid lane right around that time that you finish Gauntlet of Thebes / the 5-minute marker. Those tend to overlap pretty hard. That's right about the time that you're going to work on rotating away from the duo, letting your ADC free farm.
Your left tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
Cerberus, more of a early mid game support. Provides a lot of CC, a lot of damage early. His late game will be overshadowed by the other premium late game supports. The Geb Kepris of the world will simply perform better in the ultra late stages of the game. Cerberus gonna play out a lot like Ares.
Nothing escapes us.
Early damage, early CC, early initiation potential. Try to snowball your team to victory in those early mid stages. Late game, you still have good abilities to burn beads, literally exactly like Ares. You're gonna blink in and you're gonna ulti and you're gonna try to force stuff, but you just kind of lack that extra oomph that you do in the early game the later the game goes. So do try to be more aggressive in the early stages of the game. As far as the matchups go for Cerberus, he doesn't have that many particular issues with cripples, and because he does have good early game presence, it means you can pair him with a very aggressive ADC as well. Something like a Anher pairing with him tends to be pretty nice. Gonna grab this Kabrak and kind of throw him back towards my side of the map, and you can see that we kind of just took him down with this us and a little bit of Uller help right there. I prefer to pair him with a more aggressive ADC, something that wants to fight early, or something that also has really good lane clear, so that way you can help between your 2 and their lane clear. You're going to be able to do it really fast, which just opens up more fighting opportunities. So even somebody like a Rama, who's not like got a lot of early game like CC ability to fight the way that say like an Anher does, he does, on the other hand, have a lot of clear, and if you clear really fast, particularly that first wave where you get level 2, a lot of quick killing opportunities off of that. If you can follow up with a quick paralyzing spit, now you got a stun, Rama gets his roll out, you got a cripple, bada bing, bada boom, that could lead to a kill right away. Neith, fine pairing with the Cerberus. She's got the root, good clear, does have a bit of a nice fight early as well. No problems with the Neith pairing. Secondarily with Cerberus, you typically want to pair him with a big mage in the mid lane. I don't love the Uller middle with a Cerberus because Cerb provides so much setup through his ultimate and through his stun, we are missing out on kind of that wombo combo follow-up. Uller 1-3 is a good follow-up. It just doesn't have that same impact as, you know, a Jade Emperor 2-1, a Scylla 2-1, a Ra 1 ulti, a Thoth ulti, etc. All of those just going to be a lot more terrifying for the enemy to deal with. They have to position themselves more carefully. They might miss out on some farm, all that. As far as the enemy team is concerned, the less CC immunity they have, basically the better. Same concept as when you're playing Ares, like we said. The less CC immune ultis that they have, the more that they have to use their beads in order to immune your ultimate. Also on Cerberus, it is a knockup, which means that knockup immunities also stop your ultimate. So watch out for enemy team comps that are heavy into the knockup immunity and CC immunity. Also, leaps can leap over your ultimate. This is a little bit less concerning in general, but let's say you're going against an Anher. Not only can he ulti for the CC immunity, not only can he bead for the CC immunity, if he sees your ultimate going off, because there is about that half a second animation that you're kind of waiting for it to go off, it does mean that he can just up down right over the ability as well. Gotta go ahead and throw down the ulti, kind of throw them into the wall, have that paralyzing spit waiting for them when they come down. They are way too thick over there. Gotta pop a shell. Try to get my Uller out of that one, but I'm out of mana, and that is a massive Kraken. I'm actually just gonna wait right here for the Bastet. He did not jump back, but he has to keep running. He's probably just gonna have to go die to a tower or something. So I'm just gonna start backing right here. We'll try to die to a tower, but our rat's actually gonna catch him out and get wrecked.
Mortal beings.
Gotta go right into the Pridvin. I've always loved second item Pridvin on supports. It allows you to be a little bit more aggressive because you're getting that CDR online, which means you're gonna have more abilities up more often. Particularly on setup gods that have like pulls, being able to force those beads faster and more often means that you give yourself more time to get set up for that next ultimate. Lower the cooldown you got on Cerberus ult, Ares ult, Sylvanas pull. Just means the more opportunities you got to land that and yoink them right on over to your team. Positioning for our Cerberus. Now, he is one of the more aggressive supports, which means that while some supports are heavy on peeling duty, Cerberus a little bit more on the initiation. You can still peel after you're done with the initial initiation phase. But that really isn't where he thrives. He thrives into getting the stun off and setting off your team. He thrives in the jumping in and doing as much damage as he can. That is where he would prefer to be. Gonna grab that Bastet, throw him back towards Uller with a little stun right there. Unfortunately, Robin just comes in and immediately dives that and grabs the kill. We don't have anybody over in mid with us. They've got most of their team here, unfortunately. We just don't have anybody but to follow up on this, otherwise could have had a couple of easy kills there ourselves. So positioning wise on Cerberus, you're mostly going to be diving into the back line, looking for those gods that don't have an abundance of CC immunity. So in this particular match, my focus is going to be on the Cupid. He's going to be the hunter in the back line. He does not have a CC immune ultimate. Discordia, multiple ways that she can avoid our Cerberus ult. She can immunity frame it with her 3. She can also CC immunity with ulti, and she has feeds. Cupid gonna be a lot easier target to hit. As long as his dash is down, we can basically W key right on into him.
Freedom!
Robin dies over in the duo lane. I'm gonna stick around right here, try to go get a aggressive sentry ward out at top right and go check out their buffs. See if we can't get timers on all of this good stuff.
Your right tower is under attack.
But after our initial initiation phase is over, that is when we can go back and look for the peel.
An enemy has been slain.
So once we've kind of jumped in, used our ultimate, that's when we can kind of peel back afterwards. Also, make sure that you have your one ready to go with that stun when you ulti. You can continue to cast abilities after you have finished the initial ultimate casting. So that period where you have grabbed people in Cerberus ulti, but they have not yet come to the ground, you can continue to use abilities while you're inside of that. That being your 1 and your 2. So you want to make sure that while you're throwing them down, you have that paralyzing spit ready. And you can see that when we're in the process of the ulti, you basically want to throw down that spit just a hair before your actual throw goes off, because that spit does take a while to get there. The timing on that is basically ulti. The second that you can hear the sound effect go off from the throw, that's when you throw out the paralyzing spit. That way, not only do you knock them up and throw them out of position, you also stun them immediately when they get to that position. And because we're leveling the 2-1 first, it means that that is going to be right now a 1.6 second stun, very close to being a 1.8 second stun. Gotta grab that stun onto Discordia. She is down to half HP. Looks like there's a Kabrakan that has made his way over here, though, so my Uller can't really move up on this. Gonna have to pop my ulti. Gonna throw it up with that stun. Their entire team is here. I'm gonna jump over this wall. I'm for sure gonna get Robin ulti. There it is. Gonna pop down a shell just to live a little bit longer so I can get some pen shred for my Zhongqi right there. But that is a very, very large Robin and a very large Kabrakan. Not much we can do right there. You can also see, as far as the levels are concerned, we're the same level as our solo laner, and we're 2 levels up on our jungle. In general, as the support, you should pretty much always be the lowest level. And if you're not the lowest level on your team, that's an indication that things are going poorly in those other roles that are behind you. Now, this game, they do have 3 fairly large physical characters. They've got their 2 magical characters. Their mage isn't that big. So I'm actually going to grab a sovereignty for my team right here, as well as a sentry ward and a sneeze. Ugh. So that sovereignty combined with the thieves, just going to be some extra protections for my team. And then, of course, we'll rank up that Sentinel's gift into the embrace. Even more protections for my team to try to keep them alive and help get that damage off. Really no reason to get a ton of damage items on Cerberus as a support. If you're playing him over in the solo lane, you could get away with more things like a Void Stone, even like a Warlock Sash, that kind of stuff. But as a support, my baseline damage is gonna be enough here to get through. Gonna throw down the ulti. We smack 3 people with that. They're gonna get yeeted over towards my Ratatasker. I gotta try to jump out of this one, but they're just gonna Robin ulti right on top of us. I'm not gonna be able to do too much about that because of how much larger they are right now. So our goal is basically to provide auras and takiness for our team, and to get cooldown into our build so we can provide more setup, more CC, more peel. Which is why an early treatment is so nice, because not only does it give you those good protections, also gives you that good CC with that passive shield proc as well. Especially on gods that are going to be blinking in and ulting. It means you're definitely going to be surrounded by their entire team.
An enemy has been slain.
For our standard ability combination on Cerberus, standardly you're going to be blinking into the fight. If you can't blink into the fight, jumping in works just as well. You're almost always going to start off right into your ultimate. That ultimate you want to get started as quickly as possible. It does have a pretty big animation on it for them to react to. So the less time they have, the better. That's why the blink is so nice. So you blink in, you ulti. You immediately get that stun off on the combo. And then once they're sitting there and that's done after the throw, you follow up on your 2. So that's going to be 4, 1, 2 as the standard combo on Cerberus, or 3, 4, 1, 2 if you have to jump in order to get in the fight. Always preferential to blink into the fight. That way you still have your jump for leaving the fight when they inevitably all turn on you post blink. Gonna get that ward up at top right again. They've had it. The ward's there on and off all game. Robin is level 19. He is just absolutely massive right now. So there's really nothing we can do about this one. He's got a 6-level jungle lead, which is unfortunate. Gonna back up and grab ourselves another ward. I'm also gonna rank up the shell. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the fortifying shell for the team. Try to keep them alive through some of this burst. It is mostly going to be that physical damage coming out from the Robin, and I've already got them the best physical aura item in the game. So at this point, it's about getting wards over by the fire giant and trying to peel for the team as best we can. Gonna go in for the blink ult. Gonna throw them towards the tower. Not gonna follow up immediately right here with my stun because I thought the Discordia might get her dash off, and she did. So that way I could follow up with the 1 as she tries to dash away. A little bit of a nuance there on not specifically going for the stun right after the combo. Gonna throw my 1 right there through that wall, try to send the Kraken. Didn't quite get the stun off. Shell not quite gonna make it in time right there for him. Reminder that of course your Cerb stun does go through the wall. So you've got that option as well to set up for your team. Don't be afraid. Also casual reminder, because everybody always forgets, Ares chains also go through walls. Just a little bonus reminder right there, since everybody's always forgetting. Try to get a sundown onto the Cupid, not quite gonna be able to do it. Kraken just running straight through. Actually gonna let me live potentially here. I'm gonna have to back up out of this one. Gonna work on getting a little bit more cooldown into my build right now. The bobble, while it used to be really good, the text hasn't updated on this. It is actually
Sharpening of my senses.
nerfed, and you only get 50% overcapped on the CDR. It is simply not worth it, even on Guardians anymore, in my opinion, to overcap on the CDR with that item for the damage reduction. Back when it was 20%, it was worth it, particularly on gods like Geb that could get up like shields and ulti combos on cooldown. And also, you know, Gebel isn't affected by the reduced damage because it was percentage and all that kind of stuff. But nowadays, all of those Arthurian items are pretty much useless, so I would just mostly stick away from them. Because we've got a very heavy damage comp, very little frontline on this team outside of me, very heavy damage focus, I'm gonna grab my team a Pythags piece here, try to give them just a little bit of extra oomph. So maybe we could take some of that extra oomph and try to get ourselves some quick kills. Gonna try to ulti for the cab. I am gonna get him. I don't want to throw him too close to my team, so I'm just gonna throw him off to the side instead of directly back towards my team. Robin's just gonna dive in on us. He goes for the ulti, so I have to blink past the ulti, try to do a little turnaround stun right here on him. We're getting good damage off on the Robin because he is full damage. He doesn't have his dash up. Gonna do a little up down jump right here. Discordia missed her combo. This is still a winnable fight. Gonna pop a shell for me and my Uller, and we do grab that Robin onto Uller, which is a very big pickup. I'm gonna call the be careful. My Zonqui's here to help, but I do have to back up. And I'm actually gonna save most of my cash right here. I'm just gonna run straight back because I'm about to get level 17, which means I'm about to be able to upgrade into the Sentinel's Embrace. And that is more important than finishing the Pythags at this point. Also, keep in mind that Pythags does have cooldown on it nowadays, no longer penetration. Had penetration on it for a very, very long time. Nowadays, it does have cooldown, so it's going to give us 30% CDR, which means with a red pie, we'll actually have fully capped 40% CDR, or even a blue buff if we get a blue buff. Also need to continue to get myself over towards that Fuego. put down those sentry wars. But right now, between the Thebes and the Sentinel's Embrace and the Sovereignty, we are giving out a ton of physical protections to our team to try to keep them alive from this Raven Bastet combo. Even though the Bastet support, she's still been doing a lot of damage. Looking at our team, if I had to guess, it's probably our Uller. It sure is our Uller. That's doing the majority of damage. So my job is basically to set up / keep the Uller alive, because he's the one that's going to be able to make these plays happen. They did counter ward our Fire Giant. So I need to just kind of walk over here and make sure they're not doing anything too cheeky. Waiting for that overhead kick right there on the Raven. Luckily, he misses the ult. That's really big for us. Unfortunately, they got the Fire Giant. Wow, that sucks. They had everybody over there doing the Fire Giant, and they had their jungle Raven zoning because they're just too big. They do have a 13k lead, which means they do win this game no matter what at this point. There isn't any way to lose a Smite game up 10k at this point in Smite's history. So they do win the game, but in general, when you get to this stage of the game on Cerberus, whether it's for the Phoenix defenses or the Phoenix aggression, you're basically just looking to blink in over and over again and force those CC immunities
Your Titan is under attack.
with your ulti and just try to set up for the team to follow up on it. Like we mentioned earlier, not the best team for follow-up on the Cerberus. We don't have like a big mage follow-up. Also, just in general, our composition is kind of okay. We've only got really one front line. We had to go a Zonkui solo because we had a bunch of physical damage. We had an Uller middle. Realistically, right now, in pretty much all cases, you're just better off right now with Smite doing the general role. So I'm going to try to get into the backline. Not going to be able to blink, so I'm just going to go for a little jump ult. Gonna force the ulti on the Discordia. Gonna force the beads on Cupid. And we're gonna zone out their two major damage dealers from my backline. Gotta continue to keep the pressure on Cupid because he's the one that's gonna be taking down this Phoenix. And we do at least manage to save a Phoenix. So that's something, that counts. Shout outs to top kills, top gold, Cerberus. When your support has top gold, you're going to have a bad time. Just a little fun Smite rule for you. You're gonna have a bad time. This last item is completely flex. I could get my last of the CDR, would be fine here. There's really nothing that I can do to continue to counter against this Raven. Generically here, a Spirit Robe is going to be a good item because it's going to give me some of those percent mitigations. Percent mitigations really nice at the late stage of the game. They're good early, but they actually get better the later that the game goes on, and it'll give me that full 40% CDR at all times, which will also be nice. Just allow me to go a little bit further, a little bit more ham into their backline.
I see all possibilities.
Don't need to be so concerned about raking up the blink. The second point in the blink can be nice just to get that cooldown. You get to go from that 140 to 120, so you get 20 seconds off the cooldown. That is nice on the blink. And then if you are going to rake it up all the way, you're probably going to end up getting the Corrupted Blink just to add a little bit more CC to your kit on those blink initiations. That fire damage a little bit more efficient on the like assassins of the world, where just a little bit more damage helps them go a long way. Now our Neath is way too far out of position over there in duo. I can't rotate all the way over there because they do have a Cupid over in solo, and I need to make sure he doesn't just kind of walk up and take a Phoenix for free while we're all moving over to the duo lane. But now that we have cleared that wave, they've got a catapult over there. It does look like they want to try to get these Phoenixes right as they respawn. Seems to be their plan of action for now. Looking for a little stun on the Cupid. We are going to hit it. I'm going to go for the ulti follow-up right here. Try to throw him back towards the team. Only going to have the Kabrakan. Got to pop a shell right there for me and the Zonkui. We're not going to be able to get out after the Cupid ult. We did force a lot of CC immunities right there, but unfortunately, like we said, we just don't have any follow-up off of the Cerberus ult. And even if we did honestly have follow-up after the Cerberus ult, it wouldn't matter if you're down to 20k. That's a lot of Ks. But in general on Cerberus, push your early game, push your mid game. Go for those fights in lanes. You've got the damage, you've got the CC, you've got the wave clear. So make sure you're getting that pressure on early. Preferably have a bunch of follow-up. You are a premier setup support, so make sure you've got some follow-up damage on your team. The bigger the circle, the bigger the follow-up, the better. And make sure you do get blink as the active so you can blink into the fight and then jump away afterwards. It'll make your life a whole lot easier on Cerberus, guys. And that is your Cerberus support guide. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support the Twitchiest community and ring that bell for notifications so you never miss a video. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.